Welcome back to my channel, everyone. You may have noticed I've been off social media lately. Or you may not have noticed I'm off social media lately. Shout out to those of you who noticed I haven't been on social media. I've just been really busy. I took a promotion at work last year, and it's been one of those situations of be careful what you wish for, because sometimes you'll get it. The job's really been a blessing, but it takes up a lot of my time and attention. So much so that I want to give every extra moment that I can to my family. My daughter's a senior in high school this year. And not to be outdone by his sister, my son is getting really busy in school and extracurricular activities as well. So with that said, I've been spending a lot less time in the shop, and definitely a lot less time on social media. This is a video I've been meaning to make for some time. It's been in my queue. I just needed to finally put it together. I started making these National Forest family signs probably 4 years ago now. They've been a really good seller on eBay and on Etsy before my Etsy page got canceled, and on my website. A lot of the materials I purchased at Lowe's, and what I couldn't find on Lowe's, I got on Amazon. I'll try to put links to all the materials I use for this build down in the description. For those true woodworkers who get appalled by us newbies, stand by for this one. I use enough Minwax black walnut stain to kill a cow on this one. But it looks really good after it all dries. And usually I get so much on my rag that I'm able to actually start on the second board as well. I know there's a better way to do it. And I know I'm doing it wrong. Oh well. The black walnut stain really brings out the grain of this premium pine. The premium pine I buy in 4-foot sections from Lowe's. It's about 11 1/4 inches wide, about 3/4 inch thick. The next hard part of the build is finding the can of shellac that actually has stuff in it. I also get my cans of shellac at Lowe's. This is a secret I learned online somewhere. Spray shellac onto your board, and of course the black walnut stain's already dried. So you put on the shellac, let it dry, and what it does is it helps your aura mask adhere to your workpiece. It's not like super glue or anything, but it just gives it a little extra hold. When I first started making pine flags, I bought a Cricut to be able to make the stars and any other design I wanted to on the flags. And then of course I would Dremel out the design. One of the tools I got with this little straight edge cutter when I got my Cricut, and the thing has been absolutely awesome. I use it all the time for cutting aura mask. Essentially start it at one end and just start peeling it back and working out all the bubbles. You want to get it on there nice and firm because you don't want your CNC to rip your aura mask off the workpiece in the middle of the cut, or you're going to be really frustrated. I know, because I've done it a bunch. It's super frustrating. Now I just take a razor knife and trim off any overhanging Aura mask. This way the CNC doesn't catch it and rip it off the workpiece. Again, frustrating the heck out of me. I know this because I've done it. For all of you who say CNCs are cheating, you're not going to like the next part. And like Papa always said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So deal with it, folks. I have 2 Onefinities in my shop. My first year of making cutting boards and wooden flags paid for my first Onefinity. And then my first Onefinity paid for my second. And this one here paid for my laser. I use blue tape and Starbond adhesive to hold the workpiece down on the bench. I get it square, and then I strike some reference lines just to help me line everything up. And even with reference lines, I can still put tape in the wrong place. But with the magic of Hollywood, you'll never notice. Except for you'll see the glue all over the bottom pieces of tape. So I just use some Starbond adhesive and lay the piece down. I don't use activator a whole lot when I do this because I want to be able to move the piece around until it's nice and square and it's exactly where I want it. For the first pass, I use a 1/8 inch downcut bit. This will be the exterior of the shield. I've made a bunch of these, but I've definitely messed up my fair share. The next bit I use is a 1/4 inch downcut bit. I typically don't use upcuts when I'm using Aura mask, just because if your bit is dull, or if you're just having a bad day, that bit is going to rip the Aura mask right off your workpiece. The downcut tends not to do that. And if you're using a sharp bit, the bottom of your cut really won't be that rough. For the lettering, I use a 90-degree V-bit. Again, I'll put all my parts and all my materials and all the tools I use down in the description. Well, not all the tools. Trick I learned along the way for dealing with the burrs that pop up after a carve is getting a brass brush and just gently working them out. Pops them right off the workpiece. You definitely want to use a clean brass brush. What I don't show is I actually spray this piece with shellac before using Amsterdam acrylic paint. You can use any sort of acrylic paint for this process, but I found the Amsterdam covers pretty dang well. Not affiliated with Amsterdam, it's just really good acrylic paint. Next, I use a Cricut weeder that I accidentally bent the tip on at one point, that makes the tool a heck of a lot easier to use once I actually get it started. And then of course, with the power of my male weaponized ADD, I have to try to pull all of the mask off in a single piece without breaking it. It's almost like I've done it before. Now you take your weeder and you go back and you pull up the little bits. Once you get it started, you just peel it off. It'll peel right off. Wasn't that satisfying? Now I just take a little palm sander, a 320 grit on here. This is just to knock down any of the bleed over you might have had from the white paint. And then also give a good surface for adhering your finish to. This is just straight water. Don't use a bunch. It is acrylic paint. You'll ruin your paint if you use too much. We're just going to wipe it off and then let it dry. Kobe! And because I will never, ever be able to do that again, you're going to get the slow-mo replay. Boom. Another tool in my cheater's arsenal is my 80-watt laser. I use it quite a bit for putting on my logo. For my finish, I use this super hard to get, extremely expensive, no I'm kidding, I use acrylic enamel that I buy at Lowe's. You can buy it at any big box store. You can even buy it at an auto parts store. I like to use semi-gloss or satin. Satin's my favorite, to be honest. If you want your sign to be more weatherproof, you're definitely going to use something like Minwax Helmsman over acrylic enamel. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, just in the off chance I make another YouTube video in the future. Thank you everyone for your support. I truly appreciate you. Keep making.
I